she-devils and demons, this is Nurse Hatchet. You are listening to the Wolf Pack.
You're listening to Full Spectrum Horror with the horror symbol, Christopher Highland, and Pattison William Pattison.
Wow, that's hot.
Guess who?
That's an intro.
Yes, it is.
And you know this, man.
Coming up next, Blackula, followed by Blackenstein and Bludge Black or Bludge Blame. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Full Spectrum Horror. I am your host, as always, Christopher Highland, and with me is, well, you know who he is. Who is he? Oh, yes, Eric Moss. Say hello, Eric.
Hey, Sam. It's your brother, Edgar. Egger Frog. Just remember, we're big, bad, nasty vampire hunters. We suck bloodsuckers. Alrighty, Gore and Scares, everybody. It's me, William Pattison, a.k.a. Eric Morris. I'm not Egger Frog. Unfortunately, Mr. Highland probably got excited. He thought, oh, Corey Feldman's on my show.
No.
Nope, it isn't. But the reason why I did the Egger Frog is I have an update on what I did last month. The Funko Pops, they have finally released the Lost Boys Pops, so you can get David, or you can get Michaels and Sam, or they have a double pack of Egger and Alan Frog. I know Mr. Highland's going to go out and search for those, because I know he loves the Frog Brothers. Yeah, I know. Mr. Highland's just sitting there going, "Oh, little sister." Don't think so. So, anyways, how is it there in Gotham, Mr. Highland?
Not too bad. Just warm, but it's been hotter. It's supposed to be hotter tomorrow. And I'm convinced that the recent heat waves have killed the battery on my watch battery.
Really?
Yeah. I was told.
I know
I was told. It was just needed to be replaced. And I'm thinking, oh, really? Me being out in the heat, and then all of a sudden it chooses then to quit? No, not a coincidence.
Nope.
Some people might disagree, but I'm thinking no.
Yeah, that's just like me and my waterproof watch that I paid so much money for. I go and I start washing dishes at work, and all of a sudden my watch dies on me. So now I'm stuck having to keep my cell phone with me so that I can use that as a watch.
Well, thankfully,
because at my work they don't have any clocks where I can see them.
Well, thankfully it was the battery that was the problem.
Yeah, more than likely. They gave you a dead battery.
Yeah, I had this thing for a long time and been beat up a lot, and I've had a lot of experience with it, so I guess there was a really weak battery.
Well, okay, so you had your battery changed by your version of Mr. Chung, the guy that does my watch batteries. Mr. Chung had actually done my battery 3 weeks before my phone died, or my watch died. So 3 weeks, new battery, makes you wonder what the hell is going on there. But anyways, yeah, here in San Mateo, it is fucking hot. It is hot as hell. I'd say it's about 100 degrees in my room right now, which means that it's probably about 95 outside. Of course, I feel sorry for our mutual friend Day Green, because she's in Las Vegas, and you can imagine it's probably about 125 there. And she's been doing commercials. You saw her latest.
No.
Oh yeah.
No, I didn't.
She's already done about 3 or 4 commercials out in the heat.
Oh.
Yeah, so she's going to be all over the place pretty soon.
I was thinking there, because of the heat, no prostitutes are walking the streets.
No. Prostitutes will be walking the streets no matter what. See, that's the thing in Las Vegas. If they don't walk the streets, Mr. Pimp goes and beats their asses.
It is dedication.
Yeah, that's called whip it. You get whip it. So
but then again, some work for themselves, and you have to book appointments, and
Yeah, understood.
So they don't have to walk the streets in the heat.
So, anyways, yeah. I mean, I remember the last time I was in Vegas. A lot of the prostitution there is actually done through calls. Call girls and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so the thing is, what you have all these Mexicans and Indian guys running around handing guys cards. I remember the last time I went there with my business partner Shane and we got ourselves a huge ass deck of cards. They were just handing us cards like crazy. So, what we did as a joke is we combined all of our cards and we put it in a box and gave it to our co-worker, Little Shay, and said, "Oh, here you go. Here's some cards." He's going, "What the fuck am I supposed to do with those?" I don't know, but we don't want them. But it's all these pictures of women in sexy poses and shit with all these numbers. I thought it was funny as shit. Yeah, that was years.
It would be ironic if they came with coupons.
Oh yeah, that would be funny as hell. Yeah, one free nuzzle. Yeah, not quite. But anyways, yeah, love Las Vegas though. I mean, last time I went, it's been years since I went to Las Vegas. I think it was probably around 2008 that I went there. I know that the last time I went, the Star Trek experience was still active. Love that place. I mean, I had to, every time I went to Vegas, I had to go to Quark's and get my Corinthian apple crumble, because they made this just wonderful apple crumble there. It had ice cream, whipped cream on it, and caramel stuff on it. Just fantastic. Ambrosia, basically. And their food there was all Star Trek. I remember when I went with my friend Shane and, my business partner Shane and his wife Jenny, they actually got drinks there. Jenny got this thing called the Warp Core, and it had dry ice in it. So all this smoke was coming out of it. And they said, "Oh, do you want to take that with you?"
And her throat didn't freeze?
Huh?
And her throat didn't freeze?
Did they have what?
Her throat didn't freeze because of the dry ice?
No. You can put
surprising.
fries in drinks. You didn't know that? Oh, yeah. But anyways, they pour.
I'm confusing it with liquid nitrogen.
Yeah. But anyways, so they, they actually put these drinks into cups so that they could take them with them when they left. How do you like that? You'd never see that in a bar here. Oh yeah, you can take your Long Island iced tea home, down the street with you. Only in Vegas.
Well, I can just imagine some people going to bars and pouring the drinks in thermoses or whatever.
Yeah, what's funny is that they don't have a rule about drinking on the street. You can take drinks onto the street.
Yeah.
And walk down the street with alcohol in Vegas on the Strip. That just blows your mind. Anyways, so fond memories of Vegas. I don't know. Anyways, alrighty, it is that time. Mr. Highland has spent the entire month, seriously, the entire month, going all over the internet looking for that weird, that strange, that horror news. Isn't that right,
Yes.
Mr. Highland?
Yes, I certainly have, even up to today. So,
Indeed.
I will get to it. First up, this is a reprint, and though this is already been reprinted, but this is a second edition of a reprint. Peter Atkins' vampire novel Morning Star will be reprinted apparently again, but I don't have a date on that. So anyone who's interested in that can go look it up. Next, the novel The Bad Seed is finally being put out as an audiobook, and that will be released August 14th. Next, the classic werewolf novel The Height Effect by Steve Vance has recently been put out as an audiobook by Audible, and that is definitely one I'm looking forward to listening to because I've had a beat-up copy of that novel and I've been meaning to read it, and now I won't have to. Next up is Brian Hodges' novel Nightlife, and that has also recently been put out as an Audible audiobook. Next up, I have conflicting reports on these two audiobooks, Microscope 2 and 3. On the Macmillan website, it says that, apparently now it says July 24th for both of them, but on Brian Lumley's website it says September for Microscope 3. So, depending on which website you want to believe, I'm sure Amazon will clear both of those discrepancies up. So check on Amazon for both of those. So more as it develops, because I'm sure it will. Next, Highland Court will be reprinting the obscure yet classic 1980s horror novel The Fungus by Harry Adam Knight, and I understand that this is a novel that Clive Barker enjoyed. But unfortunately, I don't have a date on the reprint. And last, but certainly not the least, William Gibson's unproduced Alien 3 screenplay will be adapted as a comic book. And the first issue of that will be released November 7th. Now, I am very surprised about this because I've been saying for quite some time that there's a lot of screenplays, especially unproduced, that need to be adapted as comic books, and this is a good one. So that's all I have, and I hope this is of interest. Certainly is to me. What do you have?
Alrighty, so, as people are aware, Sci-Fi is going to be putting out a Nightbreed television series. Deadline studies at Sci-Fi can be growing a TV collection reboot of Nightbreed, primarily based on Clive Barker's horror novella Cabal, which was beforehand tailored it right into a film in 1990, giving it the title Nightbreed. Barker wrote and directed the movie adaptation of his work. However, on the time of its launch, it was thought as a field workplace failure. In the latest many years, the movie has since attained cult standing amongst the darkish fantasy and horror followers alike. The story has been close to my coronary heart for a few years, Barker stated. I'm at last thrilled that Sci-Fi and UPC are taking this journey with us, and I can't wait to see it delivered to life on television. The undertaking has been written by Josh Stroberg from Jigsaw. He has labored to make this property related to this time's viewers, specializing in the race relations which might be interwoven inside Nightbreed. The distinction is that the stress between people and monsters. Nightbreed follows a bunch of underground, half-human, half-monsters in a search to discover a new refuge and residential after their authentic hiding place is destroyed. Mainly, these efforts are lately turned to a reluctant hero who not solely is adjusting to his new supernatural standing, but additionally is coping with the grief and demise of his fiancée. Will this group band collectively regardless of being hunted and persecuted by people who discover their otherness to be scary? Alrighty, so that was the Nightbreed thing. The person who wrote that article that I put there is an idiot and can't write worth shit. Alrighty, next one is a book. True Indie, Death and Life in Filmmaking. Legendary director Don Consolari has written a memoir which will be published this fall. Titled True Indie, The Death and Life of Filmmaking. The book will be published by St. Martin's Press and available October 2nd. Consolari sold his first film, 1976, Jim the World's Greatest, to Universal and got his own office on the studio lot while still a teenager. But the title of True Indie reflects the fact that the filmmaker, whose other credits include 1979's horror classic Phantasm, 3 Phantasm sequels, 1982's Beastmaster, and 2002 Bruce Campbell's starring Bubba Hotep, and 2012's John Dies at the End, has spent most of his career in independent film arena, and the book will showcase his trials, tribulations, and triumphs outside the studio system. True Indie is loaded with the filmmakers behind the scenes stories like setting his face on fire during the making of Phantasm, hearing Bruce Campbell's most important question before agreeing to star in Bubba Hotep, and turning Phantasm into a franchise phenomenon. True Indie will also offer a crash course in indie filmmaking in which the filmmaker, one of the so-called masters of horror, will work on the Showtime series of the same name, reveals how he managed to retain creative and financial control of his works in an industry ruled by power-hungry predators, and all without going insane or bankrupt. True Indie is currently available for pre-order. I know Mr. Highland will be interested in that.
Yeah.
And here's another thing that Mr. Highland will be interested in. This should actually be in my Scream Factory thing, but I figured I'd throw this in here because it's just too super to be mixed in. Creepshow will be released as a collector's edition Blu-ray on October 23rd via Scream Factory. It will come with a rigid slipcover featuring new artwork by Laz Marquez, while the reversible Blu-ray wrap features the original and alternative theatrical poster artwork. A 40-page booklet featuring a new essay by Michael Gingold will be included. Special features are in progress and will be announced in September, but the company confirms the 1982 horror anthology will receive a new film transfer. If you directly order from Scream Factory for $39.93, you'll get a 28 by 5 by 16 lithograph of the print of Marquez's art and an 18 by 24 poster of an alternative artwork by Marquez. You will also receive it 2 weeks ahead of the street date. This offer is limited to 1,500 units. Directed by George A. Romero, Night of the Living Dead and Dawn of the Dead, Creepshow marks the screenwriting debut of legendary author Stephen King, Hal Holbrook, Adrian Barbeau, Fritz Weaver, Leslie Nielsen, Carrie Nye, E.G. Marshall, and Veronica Lindors, Ted Danson, Tom Atkins, and King himself stars. Alrighty. In addition to its Universal Monsters pop-up shop, Super 7 has revealed the other exclusives that will be available at San Diego Comic-Con booth number 4945 later this month. They'll have an Alien Space Wars Hammerhead Xenomorph reaction figure with coin for $15, Misfits themed glow-in-the-dark reaction figure for $15, and I know Mr. Highland would absolutely want this, a Planet of the Apes Statue of Liberty action play set for $75. What do you think of that, Mr. Highland?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of like one of the old Star Wars play sets that they had with the backing, and it's got the Statue of Liberty there, and you get a bunch of action figures with it. You get Zira, Dr. Zayas, Cornelius, Charlton Heston's character, and Nova. Alrighty, so here's our next one. Netflix Indian original horror series Ghoul will be available to stream globally on August 24th. Based on Arabic folklore, the 3 episodes will be available in both English and Hindi. Written and directed by Patrick Graham, Ghoul stars Radhika Apte, Mane Kaul. Blumhouse Production produces alongside Ivanhoe Pictures and Phantom Films. A trailer is expected in the coming weeks. Alrighty, and finally, for my horror news, discover the one book no one was meant to find in Goosebumps 2, Haunted Halloween. Halloween comes to life in the Halloween comes to life. Based on R.L. Stine's best-selling series of children's horror novels, the sequel to 2015's Goosebumps film is directed by Ari Sadal, the Duff, and written by Rob Lieber, Peter Rabbit. Goosebumps 2, Haunted Halloween opens on October 12th via Sony. Wendy McClellan Cove, Ken Jeong, Chris Parnell, Madison Iselman, Ben O'Brien, Khalil Harris, Jeremy Ray Tyler, and Peyton Witch Star. Alrighty, so that is our horror news. But
Actually, I forgot one small item that I mentioned to you before the show. Last month, Marquis de Sade's novel Justine was put out as an as an audiobook on audio CD as well as Audible.
Nice. All right, so now it is.
I wasn't sure if I should include that, but then I looked. Oh, it has a lot of torture going on. Okay, I guess that counts.
Yeah, it counts. Because as I mentioned to you, the writings of Marquis de Sade were actually the inspiration for horror porn. So yeah, definitely. Alrighty, now it is time for our Scream Factory releases for late September. Because they actually added some. And I know Mr. Highland's going to be absolutely thrilled about this one.
Oh?
The first one on here. Exorcist II, The Heretic, Collector's Edition with exclusive poster. Yeah, for $28.43 you can get a nice Blu-ray, and of course you get the free 18 by 24 rolled up poster featuring the brand new artwork. Yeah, that really makes it hell of a lot better, right? All right, synopsis. Yeah, there we go. It's the most interesting of all films because it takes chances none other films are willing to risk. Cinepunks.com. Alrighty. Bizarre nightmares plague Regan McNeil, Linda Blair, 4 years after her possession and exorcism. Has the demon returned? And if so, can the combined faith and knowledge of the Vatican investigator Richard Burton and a research specialist, Louise Fletcher, free her from its grasp? Employing production design and special effects that are dazzling, exhilarating, and a supporting cast, Max von Sydow, Paul Herod, James Earl Jones, of compelling distinction. Director John Borman draws us into a tangible experience of evil. We fly with the demon, feel the African landscape vibrate, and get engulfed in the terror of swarming locusts as Exorcist II, The Heretic weaves its fascinating, frightful spell. Yeah, right. Yeah. Alrighty, next one is for all of you Mystery Science Theater 3000 fans. It's the Lost and Found Collection for $47.99. You get a Lost and Found Collection is essentially the new home for episodes that were forced to leave their old homes when one of their roommates expired. There's nothing new to see here. The content remains the same, but we have a cool new cover, don't we? And the episodes included here get to stay in print. That's worth celebrating. The episodes are The Crawling Eye, Mad Monster, Manhunt in Space. Hold on here. The Beatniks, Blood Waters of Dr. Z, Final Justice. Bonus features, same theatrical trailer, same Graydon Clark on MS3K. Same main event, Crow versus Crow. same MST hours rap, same intro by Joel Hudson, and the same much more. Oh, that's really selling, isn't it, Mr. Highland? Oh, God. Alrighty, here we got another one that I know Mr. Highland's just going to really want. Yeah, it's from the creator of Death Wish. It's a film called Scream for Help.
I
And it
think
comes
I think I included this in my news last month.
Oh, okay. Well, anyways, $23.99. It's Blu-ray. So I know you're thrilled. Then you must have loved it.
This is by
Scream for Help is a winner. HorrorNews.net. So obviously, Day Green loved it.
this is by Michael Winner, isn't it?
Don't know. Terror invades an upper-class New York community as 70-year-old Chrissy Cromwell cleverly uncovers her stepfather's horrifying plot to murder her wealthy mother. She's on to him, yet no one will believe her because she's just a kid. Smart, imaginative, maybe. She's just taken as a crazy idea to the limit. Suspense builds when a series of shocking events confirms her worst fears. Alone, afraid, and helpless, terrified Christy and her mother are held prisoner in their own home at the mercy of ruthless killers. Is that the movie you
Yes.
did run through? Okay, so anyways, that's our Fright Factory for this month. Alrighty, so now it is time for our new segment. And this is a segment very special to Mr. Highland's heart. And I do have to thank my dear friend, Mr. Rich Giordano of the Paranormal Code for inspiring me to do this. And that is the very first Horror Purge. Now this is pre-recorded. Our purge happened a couple weeks ago. You can thank Mr. Highland. He's the one who brought us our first purge clients and thought up the way to deal with them. So anyways, let's get going with this, and here is our first Horror Purge. Enjoy.
I've got something to tell you, something you can't deny. I've taken all that you give us, had it up to my eyes. Can't feel the hunger, feel that you can't go on now. Stand up and be counted. Don't push your luck too far. Stand up and be counted. Don't push your luck too far. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Welcome to the first Horror Purge.
This event is a service to the horror community. It's a way to get rid of those who have become a detriment to our community. To purge the undesirables that are doing things to the detriment of the rest of the community. So here is your host, William Pattison. Gorin scares everybody, and welcome to the Horror Purge. I am your host, William Pattison, and this Horror Purge is brought to you by The Paranormal Code, which is hosted by my dear friend Mr. Rich Giordano. The Paranormal Code can be listened to on Spreaker and on the Fringe FM. So anyways, let's get to our first batch of purges for this month. Let me check my computer here. Alrighty, so anyways, I have given the signal for our purge victim. Actually, oh, wait a second, actually, it's victims. There are two people being brought out, and they're being chained to posts. From what I'm getting here on my monitor, the people to be purged this time are Mike and Mia Kurz. Reason? They run the Flashback Convention in Chicago, and they harass convention guests and the public. They threw out a documentary film crew who were doing a documentary on Nightmare on Elm Street fans and had actually been invited by the Kurz to shoot at the convention. Supposedly the reason the crew got kicked out is because they caught Robert Englund in the background at his table while interviewing some fans. It was never made clear if Englund was actually in the shot, but the Kurz had a bunch of heavy-built security guards roughly drag the crew out of the convention, causing some damage to their equipment. The Kurz have been known to use these heavy-handed methods on anyone they have the slightest issue with at their convention. This purge is especially done for my co-host, Mr. Christopher Highland, since he used to go to the Flashback Convention, and he had witnessed some of this crap going on. So anyways, the Kurz are sentenced to death by the use of psychics to make them feel the pain of those they've brutalized 100 times over. Ooh, intriguing. So anyways, let's see. Security has just locked the Kurz to poles. Their arms are chained, but they're free. And they are chained against the pole around their waists. Okay, well, it appears the security guards are heading away, and now the psychics have arrived. Wow, we got, ooh, cool. I recognize the first psychic that's come out. It's Chip Coffee from Paranormal State. Oh, second one coming out is Mr. John Edwards. Interesting. Oh, and I recognize this guy. All right. It's Derek Akura from Most Haunted. Yeah, I like him. He's quite the psychic. Oh, really? Wow. Amy Allen is coming out. And, ooh, Michelle de Boulanger. Huh. Oh my God, Mr. Highland's really going after him. Like, boy, he's actually risen the dead. You will not believe this, listeners. Sylvia Brown has come out from the dead. Sylvia Brown. And they're all standing around the accused. Well, I should say sentenced, since they are being sentenced. So anyways, yeah, the Kerrs are, yelling at them and flicking the, giving them nasty finger gestures and that. Okay, Chip Coffee is looking over here. I guess he's waiting for a signal. I'm nodding my head that it's time. Okay, so he's motioned to the other psychics, and they're all bringing their hands up to their temples. And, ooh, boy. What the hell is that sound? There's a buzzing sound going on here. Whew. And immediately the Kerrs are feeling the pain. Man, look at them. They're writhing. Oh, man. Yeah, buzzing, more buzzing. Ooh, boy. And yeah, they're screaming. More screaming. Oh my God. Ooh, boy, they are shaking and ew. Ew, ladies and gentlemen, they just shit their pants. Shit is coming out of their pant legs of the overalls that we put them in, the orange overalls. And and they've pissed themselves too. The fronts are just wet as hell. Oh my God. Oh, they are shaking. Oh my God, Mike Kerrs. he's starting to tear at his eyes. Blood is starting to come out of his eyes. He is, flippin' hell. He has just pulled his own eyeballs out of his head. People, oh my God, ew. Yeah, blood's coming out. He's still screaming in agony. So's Mrs. Kurz. What the hell's happening now? Seems like their faces are blowing up. What? Oh my God, they are blowing up. What? Oh, shoot. Oh, ooh, God. Ooh, God. Ooh, their heads just exploded. Ew, brains and stuff are just flying all over the place. The psychics are drenched. You know, you got bits of bone on the ground and brain pieces and blood and bits of eyeballs and that just all over the place. Ugh, God. Ugh. Oh well. So anyways, that was your first Horror Purge. As I said, this Horror Purge is brought to you by the Paranormal Code on Spreaker and the Fringe FM with host Rich Giordano. They have just changed their schedule and they are going to be going live at 7 p.m. Pacific on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. So check out the Paranormal Code. And that is it for our very first Horror Purge. And be ready next month when we come back for another execution. This is William Pattison, King of Splatterpunk, author of the Camp Crystal Lake novels, and your host, saying bye-bye. So that was our very first Horror Purge. How do you feel, Mr. Highland? Do you feel any better after witnessing that?
I suppose.
Yeah, I know. You know, it's kind of gross, and you know, I mean, you know, Mr. Highland has issues with corn sometimes. You know, I mean, he couldn't eat pizza for years after that scene in what was it, Nightmare on Elm Street 4, Mr. Highland? Though I don't want we won't have you remember it because then you won't be able to eat pizza for the next 2 months. Okay, so don't think about the pizza. Okay. Anyways, now here's a little thing that we have to say after each horror purge now. The Horror Purge is a parody. No jackasses were killed in the production of this, and no jackasses have been murdered. This is all parody. It is just for fun. So don't sit there call us murderers and shit, because it's not true. It's just a joke. Anyways, so that was fun. Sadistic fun, though. Anyway, so now it is time for movie reviews. Unfortunately, I was trying all month to find a movie worthy of reviewing, and all the movies that I saw were just so bad. I didn't even want to include them, because half of them I watched halfway through and just said, to hell with it. That's how bad these things were. They were just complete and utter garbage. So unfortunately, for the first time in full spectrum horror history, Mr. Highland is going to have to do the reviews on his own.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean,
sorry.
Well, I just, you know me, I tend to do my homework.
Cool
Even if
deal.
it's bad. So the first movie I have is called Die Monster Die. Have you seen this one?
Oh yeah, I've seen Die Monster Die.
Okay.
Love it.
And it's based on a Lovecraft story. About this guy who goes to this house in the middle of nowhere in England, and no one wants to take him there for reasons only they know, but not known to the guy. So he has to walk there for miles, and finally he reaches the house, the mansion, and of course there's an old man living there, played by Boris Karloff, and he was young guy was invited there by his girlfriend or fiance or whatever, and there's all these weird happenings going on, and such as the mother is in her bedroom all the time, and she's only seen through a shroud, and the butler doesn't really talk, and nothing will grow on the grounds, and one night the butler just suddenly drops dead, and let's see what else happens. The man and the woman go looking around and investigating, and they find that there's experiments going on, and there's mutated animals and mutated plants, and let's see what else. And the man discovers that this is all because of some meteorite that's being kept in the basement. So at some point, the mother decides to attack, and you see that she's been mutated as well, and then she falls and ends up dissolving into nothing, and she gets buried, and the guy tries to convince Boris Karloff to leave, and of course he can't. Oh, and he says, "Oh, this is my home. This is all I know." And so the man and the woman plan on leaving, and but before they do, Boris Karloff decides to destroy the meteorite, but it ends up affecting him, and he turns into what looks to be Silver Surfer. So he ends up attacking the man and the woman, and then he ends up falling into his death, and then the man and the woman escape the mansion, and but right before it gets engulfed in flame, and that's pretty much the end of the movie.
Yeah, I've got a little bit of trivia for you on that.
Yeah.
That you'll find interesting.
Oh, what?
This film is actually based on the Lovecraft film The Color of Space.
Oh.
And our dear friend and fellow Wolfpack member Debbie Rochon did a more recent adaptation of The Color of Space, but it was called The Color of Darkness.
Oh.
Also, in the 80s, Will Wheaton was actually in another adaptation of The Color of Space, but it was called The Curse.
Oh, yeah, I need to see that.
Yeah, so anyways, yeah.
How does that one compare to Die Monster Die?
They're all totally different.
Oh.
The Color of Darkness is actually a better adaptation of it. And very well done. I mean, if you ever get a chance to see The Color of Darkness with Debbie Rochon, I highly recommend it.
Okay. Now, as for a rating, I would give this a 2.5 out of 5.
Oh, another piece of trivia, Mr. Highland, that you probably didn't know is the fact that Die Monster Die was the last film that Boris Karloff did. He died during production. No. Yes, they actually had to
this
use
is from the mid-60s, not
double.
the late. No, this I know this is from the mid-60s, not the late 60s.
Well, all I know is that that's what they said. That was what Bob Wilkins said about it, and they said that they had to use a double because Boris Karloff couldn't even walk during productions.
He probably was referring to another film.
Yeah. Well, anyways, just thought I'd mention it. But yeah, they did use a guy with a Boris Karloff mask on for the Silver Surfer scene. Funny as shit, though. Anyways,
that was goofy in that part.
Yeah. Yeah, because
Okay,
he
the next-
accidentally gets a piece of the thing in his cheek, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it starts affecting him. He gets like these glowing veins all through him, and then he turns into Silver Surfer. Anyway, so yeah, go on to your next review. You know, I think we've done enough on this.
My next movie is called The Addiction. Now, this is by Abel Ferrara. Certainly feels like an Abel Ferrara movie. Basically, it's about this philosophy major in New York, and one night she's attacked by this woman who bites her on the neck. And yes, it is a vampire, and it affects her in many ways. Her personality changes. She starts doing drugs. She becomes not only addicted to drugs, but addicted to blood as well. So she starts attacking and biting strangers. She does so with her friends and including her teacher, people she would meet in the library, people off the street, and just total strangers. It didn't matter who to her. She starts neglecting her work, and all of a sudden she pulls this, I don't want to say dissertation. At the time she's working on her thesis, and she manages to seemingly pull it out of her ass. And she ends up getting her degree, and she ends up becoming a doctor of philosophy. And at the end of the movie, you see her graduating, and all of her friends and people that she's met throughout the movie, they end up showing up and biting the faculty at this little party.
Oh boy!
I found that
vampire orgy.
What?
Vampire orgy, sort of. Yeah, instead of necking, you're really necking. Yeah, I seem to remember this one. It didn't really make an impression on me, but I sort of remember it.
So she ends up in the hospital again because before she was in the hospital, and she didn't know why. But at some point in the midst of all of this, she runs into a character played by Christopher Walken, and I expected him to be in the movie more, but he's barely in it.
Yep. Yeah, this is the one I remember. Yeah, not much in it at all. And I know how much Mr. Highland loves, him. Walken's your hero. Like, where's Christopher Walken?
So, what would I give this for a rating? I guess I would give this 2.5 out of 5.
2.5 out of 5?
Yeah.
Boy, you're giving higher ratings than I would have.
Oh, what would you give it?
2. I wasn't thrilled with it. Let's put it that way.
Okay, but neither was I. And I saw it out of curiosity.
Oh, well, what you did is you gave it the Christopher Walken edition. So having Christopher Walken in there added another half point.
I guess so.
Yeah! Alrighty. Alrighty, so that's it, or you got anything else? And
that's all.
That's it. Alrighty, so I guess it's time for our music break, and I can honestly tell you that Mr. Highland worked hard yet again and found some music for the break. So we'll go check that out. See what he got for us. Be back late in a little bit. Catch you then.
Yes, I know you're hungry. Ah, and here comes dinner. Feed 'em my Frankenstein.
handle these sports, Rich?
Devour. Say my name. I'm talking to you, creamy white cheddar mac and cheese with bacon. Can you feel it? You like that, don't you? Oh, you taste so creamy. And the little sounds your crispy bacon makes drive me crazy. You naughty little...
Did you just spank your lunch?
Yes.
Nice.
Food you want a fork. Introducing Devour. Hello, my she-devils and demons. This is Nurse Hatchet, she-wolf of the Wolf Pack.
Alrighty, so that was our intermission and music break. And now it is time for our horror discussion. And I know Mr. Highland is all excited about our blockbuster film that we're discussing this time. You know, I mean, forget Jaws. You know, forget Star Wars. No, we got the film for you, baby. We got it. We got Blackenstein.
Oh God.
And I love the poster that they have on IMDb of Blackenstein. Did you actually go on IMDb?
No.
Oh, you'll love it. It's the main character, not Blackenstein, but the girlfriend, and she's wearing a robe, and she's almost got her breasts exposed, and she's sitting there screaming, and it just says in red letters down below, Blackenstein.
Yeah, I saw that image.
Yeah, give me a break.
I'm guessing that's supposed to be one of the characters who's killed.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
But I'm watching the movie. It didn't. The lady who's supposed to be her didn't really look like her.
Yeah, I know.
I'm thinking, hey, that shot's not in the movie. They got it wrong. It's just for promotional. It's just a promotional shot.
I think they actually went and took a shot from Blackula and put in. That'd be funny. Oh yeah, we got Blackenstein, so why don't we just put this shot of this lady with the afro in here for Blackula? You know, we don't care. You know, people just go, oh yeah, we want to see that lady's titties, so we're gonna go see Blackenstein. Yeah. So, anyways, Mr. Highland, let's hear about Blackenstein, the incredible cult classic.
Well, it starts off with this lady who is a scientist, and she wants to help her boyfriend walk again, and because he was in Vietnam and he has no arms and legs after stepping on a landmine. And
yeah, that's what gets me. You step on a mine, you probably lose your legs. You wouldn't lose both your legs and your arms.
Oh, I don't know, maybe.
I I don't know. Anyway, so so he's just a trunk left. A head, no arms, no legs.
And he's in the hospital all the time, and the male nurse who is abusing him. I'm thinking I've seen this guy before, but where? I mean, I'm thinking, well, was he in Young Frankenstein as one of the assistants toward the beginning? I don't know. I didn't bother to look. But I just know I've seen that guy before. Don't know where. So he's brought to the doctor's mansion that the lady is going to be assisting in. And we get a short tour of the place where other people are being helped by the doctor. One is an old lady who's been who's been made young, and another person who has a kind of a tiger leg.
Yeah, supposedly the DNA, RNA work that the doctor was doing on it kind of got messed up, and his leg de-evolved. But what's funny is, wouldn't it have de-evolved into a monkey leg or something rather than that? Because that means that the guy was part tiger. Kind of weird. Yeah, kind of weird.
Yeah. So not long after that, the experiments, I should say, surgery begin. And then during the course of this, one of the doctor's assistant pledges to the lady that he loves her. But she says, "Oh, no, I like you as a friend, but as soon as the operation is a success, we plan on being married." And so he takes it personally and screws up the formula for the surgery. Huh?
Yeah, she does. Which didn't he kind of mix Eddie's stuff with the tiger guy, and that kind of screwed things up? I
think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So instead of Eddie turning into a tiger guy, for some reason Eddie's ancestor was a Frankenstein monster, which kind of doesn't make sense either.
Yeah, I don't know. That ends up happening. His forehead becomes pronounced and thickened.
Yeah, and he gets that flat head.
Yeah.
With the afro.
And he ends up escaping and basically killing people at random. But oddly enough, the first person he kills is the male nurse who was abusing him in the hospital. That I can understand. But after that, he just goes, what?
Oh, sorry. Question for you, Mr. Highland. How the How the hell did he steal clothes from Herman Munster's closet?
I don't know. I guess they were
He was
given
wearing
to him.
Herman Munster shoes and the entire outfit.
I don't know. I guess they were just given to him.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. just had to bring that up. It's kind of freaky deaky. And of course, you know, when they give him the thing, it's like automatically his arms and legs just pop out of him, kind of fast. Did you notice that?
I guess so.
Yeah, all of a sudden he has arms and legs, and you know there's no in between thing. You know, you don't end up with showing the scene where he has these little baby half legs or anything. It's just all of a sudden he's got these big ass boxer hands, and he's got these big ass legs with big old boots on them. Genetically engineered boots too. Anyways, so he starts killing people.
Yeah, he just goes after random strangers. I mean, it really doesn't make any sense. The only people that he kills that actually make sense are the male nurse from the hospital and.
Oh yeah, that was the best scene too, because that was the one part in the film that I actually clapped.
I'm watching that part and I'm thinking, okay, where's the blood? Where's the blood? Where's the blood? Barely any blood at all.
Well, they couldn't afford it.
Even sheep blood? Man, that's sad.
No, they couldn't even afford Heinz 57, which sucks. You know, most of those Blacksploitation films they used ketchup for the blood, which I don't understand. You know, it's like, come on, you're Blacksploitation. You gotta have some nice Heinz 57 with that blood. As that blood, you know, come on, boys.
Well, when most of the attacking was going on, I mean, it was done behind a curtain. I mean, they could have done since it was behind a shadow, they could have ripped the guy's arm off and then have a splash of whatever to make it look like it was blood.
Yeah. But I know they didn't do any of that. Of course, you know, from what I heard from Al Omega, supposedly the budget on this was horrid. The director used his own house, and they actually had to rent some of the equipment from a sci-fi movie that was done. That's why it all looked so wacky. So yeah, they didn't have much of a budget at all.
Yeah, as I said, he was the main character. Just went around killing people at random, which didn't make sense at all. He just walks around with his arms extended and just.
Yeah, doing the Blackenstein thing.
And it's odd that he was
funny.
ripping. It was odd that he was ripping people's guts out, and you can tell that they got that stuff from butcher shops when he was holding the guts in his hands.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Oh, that's the same thing that Romero did with his zombie films. He'd get them from butcher shops. You know, a little piece of trivia on Day of the Dead. Their freezer went and malfunctioned, so during the major climactic gore scenes, they had to use rotted organs, and the crew had to puke, you know, and the actors had to keep from puking on it. Very cool. But anyways, we get back to Blackenstein. I just thought you'd be interested in hearing about that one. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Not fun. They made it a lot more realistic. Hell, a lot more realistic than Blackenstein, definitely. So anyways, yeah, you know, I mean, you know, Eddie was going out, what was it, on a nightly basis, and then he'd come back to the house, and, you know, all of a sudden he was back to normal old Eddie, you know, well, some normal Eddie, you know, and
a lot of times you just see a shadow on the wall.
Yeah.
Elongated, and you just hear him growling, and the acting in some of the victims is really bad. Like the couple who's in the park. Oh, I don't want to do anything. She gets out of the car, and I'm watching this and thinking, what is this, the 50s? Don't call me. He drives off. She walks away and thinking, oh, nothing's gonna happen to me, and she gets dragged off, and then that lady with the beehive hairdo.
Oh God.
Who has that? Who has a hairdo like that in the early 70s?
I know. God. That was something. Yeah, another thing that's funny as hell is I remember this one scene, and it was when Eddie's chasing this one girl, and he's walking by this pipe. You know, he's doing his Frankenstein things with the arms out, and the editor, it just blows my mind. The editor, what he did is he'd show Eddie walking a little bit, then he'd cut the scene, put in a shot of the girl, then he'd continue the scene from where he left off, with Eddie walking past the pipe. And it was almost, you know, the way when you see it, it looks almost like Eddie walks a little bit, then he stops while they're showing the scene of the girl running, and then he continues walking for a little bit and stops. It's almost like that. I mean, honestly, the person who edited this film did not know what he was doing, literally. It's like, what the fuck are you doing, man? Ew. But
yeah, even the editing was bad.
Yeah, jump cuts and all kinds of shit. Whew. I do have to admit, I did. The only good thing in this film was the location. The house. Except that house is in L.A. and it looks like it's a flipping castle in L.A. And the place looks like it's all stairs, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting house, though. I mean, I like movies with interesting houses, but this is almost like Tim Burton time. Of course, this entire film was kind of Tim Burton time, except Tim Burton on acid, and not and putting a blindfold around his face while he's shooting. God.
So at some point he goes after the doctor's male assistant who missed up the formula for him.
That's when he, Mr. Horn Dog, goes and tries to rape his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, I can't stop now. I gotta go after you, and all of a sudden here comes Eddie and picks him up and throttles the shit out of him. That's one time I did that. It's like there's two good spots where you sit there and go, yay! And that's when Malcolm when the male nurse gets it and when Malcolm gets it. That's it. Yeah.
And then after that, he goes after pretty much anyone else who's in the mansion, such as the two other patients being helped by the doctor.
Yeah, the old lady and
yeah.
Mr. Tiger Leg.
Yeah. It really doesn't make any sense. I mean, it looks like you're supposed to think, oh, he strangled her, but it looks like he just performed the Vulcan neck pinch on her.
Yeah. Yeah, well, this isn't Mr. Spot. This is Blackenstein. He cool. They should have ended the film with him going out and, they have him pimping. Did you see that with little round rimmed glasses on that head and big old purple hat? If they ever make Blackenstein 2, they should do that. What do you say, Mr. Highland? Blackenstein. Blackenstein 2.
So he escapes, and the cops are after him, and he can't get hurt by being shot. But what manages to get him? Dobermans.
Yeah. Yeah, because Doberman's the black dog. That black dog go after that
So they
black guy.
tear him up
Take
and
him out.
so they tear him up and they get his they eat his insides, and basically the end of him.
Yeah, what gets me is he doesn't kill any of those dogs. It's like,
No.
oh my God, they're kryptonite.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
you'd
just
think
gonna sit here and fall on the ground, and they're gonna eat me up.
yeah.
And pretty much all, we don't even see them really eating them. We see them
No,
barking
there's a lot
at him.
of there's a lot of editing where it looks like they are, but they're really not.
Yeah, they're just standing around him going, bark, 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 bark. And he's just riding around. God, give me a break with big old salamis on his chest.
Yeah.
Or were those bratwursts? What do you think? I think bratwursts.
I don't know.
Looks like bratwurst to me. It's kind of, flesh colored. They didn't put any blood on them either, which is kind of ridiculous. You need to get out the ketchup there, boys. Put some ketchup on those bratwursts. Because after he's done with that scene, that's going to be lunch. Because we can't afford to feed you. Because we're on a shoestring budget. God. Oh, God. I'm sorry. This film just gets me.
Yeah, so basically that's the end of the movie.
Yeah. Yeah, I can just imagine that they actually, I'm not kidding with from what I gathered, the budget on this film, more than likely they used the bratwurst for dinner. They boiled them up and had them for dinner for that day because they had zero money for this film. I mean, this was done on even less than Troma money. And I'm trying to remember. I think Al said that the director committed suicide.
Oh.
After, because he was so disgusted by how bad, because when it premiered, people were just going, oh, ew, and not in a good way. Yeah, you have a whole bunch of black people in there wanting to watch Blackenstein, and they get this. Yee. These were the people. These were the people who before Blackenstein, you had Blackula and Scream Blackula Scream, and you also had Mr. Black and Mr. Hyde. Before that, Blackenstein was the final one, and there's a good reason why you don't see it any place. We just showed it. I mean, seriously. You want me to tell you the rating on IMDb?
Yeah,
I got it with my notes.
Go ahead.
Huh?
Go ahead.
3.2 out of 10.
Surprised it isn't lower.
Huh?
I'm surprised it isn't lower.
Yeah, no. This was just so much fun, after all.
Speaking of trauma, I'm surprised that they haven't remade this.
Yeah, well, Lloyd doesn't want to have to pay the whoever's left to try and get the rights to this.
Oh, is that what they're doing? They're waiting for the cast to die so they can remake this.
They're waiting for. I guess they're kind of waiting for it to be public domain. Much like much like Johnny Johnson did with Plan 9. I mean, he had to wait until the Wayne Williams debacle got settled.
Huh.
Because Wayne Williams was, if he hadn't been proven that no, he didn't have the rights to Plan 9, Johnny Johnson couldn't have done the remake because of that. Because here's the thing, with Wayne Williams, that was, he got the rights for Plan 9 from Ed Wood's ex-wife, not his wife that was there during the filming of Plan 9, but his ex-wife. So that doesn't work. Ex-wife doesn't do it. So, anyways, yeah, I know, Mr. Highland. They need to do a remake of Blackenstein.
Yeah, but actually, maybe two remakes. One would be a cheesy B movie remake, and two, a serious one.
Nah, I say two cheesy ones. I say they do a remake of Blackenstein, and then they do Pippenstein, Blackenstein 2. Yeah, we bring Blackenstein with a few bitches, and he's out there pimping. Out there, he's the Frankenstein pimp. Don't you think, Mr. Highland, wouldn't that work?
I guess so.
And I have the perfect director for that.
Oh, who?
Do it perfect.
Who?
Rob Zombie, of course.
Oh, man.
Of course, we gotta have Rob Zombie do Blackenstein.
Oh, God, you just reminded me of my idea of a remake of Todd Browning's Freaks, where Rob Zombie...
Yeah, well, we're not going for Rob Zombie to do that.
Oh? Who would
Hell no, that would be Ken Russell.
Ken Russell's dead.
Oh, fuck. Well, we can't do Ken Russell then. Oh, Del Toro. He could do Freaks. He probably would love to do Freaks. Of course, it'd be in Spanish, more than likely.
But would it be more like the feel of the original movie, or would it be that combined with more of an adaptation of the original short story?
He'd probably do more of an adaptation of the short story, plus do Todd Browning a little bit, because, Del Toro, he does really good, and the thing is that, you know, I mean, he'd do a really good production. He'd, you know, he's kind of like the Peter Jackson of horror. So he'd really get into the characterization, and he'd bring in his, you know, Weta Works to do the freaks. So he'd really, this would be a blockbuster production of freaks. I'd love to actually see that. That would be good. Actually, now that I think of it, I mean, shoot, that would be fantastic. Of course, who would you have to play Tiny Tim?
I don't know.
Because what they'd do is, of course, they'd use CG. Well, use you know, make the actors smaller. They'd use special effects, so he'd be a regular-sized person, but he'd be small like that. Anyways, I mean, they did somewhat, you know, they homaged Browning's freaks in that one American Horror Story, the circus one.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. They had the Goon Girl there and stuff. All kinds of different ones. Two-headed girl. They did a really good job on that. Of course, they also had the Killer Clown with the fucked up lower face. That was something. Yeah, I can't remember what it was. American Horror Story Sideshow or something, or something like that. Circus, Sideshow, Freak Show. It was American Horror Story Freak Show. So yeah, now Mr. Highland is definitely going to want to check that out, aren't you?
Mhm.
Yeah. Because the thing is, it's, you know, with American Horror Story, the story is completely different each season. So they use a different theme. They use some of the same actors, and their character names are usually somewhat the same, but it's different stories altogether. And as I said, they had the Freak Show one, which was really actually one of their better seasons. I never saw it, but I heard so much from people on that they were just blown away by that one. So you might want to go and check with your library about finding out about American Horror Story. Find out what season the Freak Show one was, and get that and check it out. From what I heard, the last one sucked. It was a cult deal, and the next one they're going to bring in elements from Freak Show and the one from the cult into it. So they're doing a combination thing, which means that they're jumping the shark on that show. Anyways, so what's your score on Blackenstein?
-100.
Huh?
-100.
-100. Oh, bad. That's really bad. Now that hasn't soured you on Blacksploitation, has it?
No.
Yeah, because you need to see Curse of Skull Mountain, and you need to see, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Black, and see Scream Blackula Scream. Or have you seen Scream Blackula Scream?
Yeah, I've seen that.
Oh, okay, so you don't need to see that one. Okay. Is that pretty much your only Blaxploitation horror film?
No.
Oh, okay. It was for me until the last few years, and then I started finding these other ones thanks to Mr. Al Omega. But anyway, so Blackenstein was not something that you'd recommend, and
No.
It's like, I mean, here Mr. Highland had been waiting all this time to see it, and then he sees it, like, oh, God, please. Yeah. Alrighty, so anything else you want to mention here before we call it a day there, Mr. Highland?
No, not really, other than thanks for listening. Few though you may be, and tune in next time where we will have a surprise guest.
Oh, we're going to have a surprise guest, huh?
You know who it is.
I do?
We've discussed it.
Okay. Well, you forget my memory isn't too good. My medication fucks me up on stuff.
I'll remind you.
Hard. Yeah, you'll remind me. Okay, that's cool. Anyways, yeah, so that's it. Be ready next month for more full spectrum horror. And, of course, we'll have another Horror Purge next month. That one's going to be very special, close to my heart. Alrighty, so anyways, keep America strong, watch horror films, and enjoy.
The love that you bring me along. The pain that you gives me a home. Do you wanna stay by my side? Do you want me to turn and hide? We are disappearing inside, seeing pictures of our goodbyes. We believe that our love will survive the pain that you brings me all alone. Do you love me? Do you hate me? Do you wanna believe me? Do you think that you don't need me? Do you wanna deceive me? I can't Goodbye, so long.
Speak international.